Chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. And these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flocks with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren. And they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were bringing sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, and see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale to Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites come from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed the kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth on his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all of his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. For thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. Hi. There are several sets of things here that always cause people questions and usually get interpreted better if you have an understanding of some of the factors involved. First off, the coat of many colors. I know Dolly Parton has a song about that, but that's what Joseph had was a lot different. In those days and in that culture, the way they wove cloth made it pretty much impossible for them to have a coat the way Dolly did. And there weren't too many scraps of cotton around, and color was really hard to come by because everything was wool, and you're living in a desert, and you have maybe some colored wool from some colored sheep, but it's usually everything is blended. It's woven together that way. However, the thought is that Joseph had a coat that was a long coat that covered him from his shoulders down towards his ankles, and also had long sleeves. And the long sleeves were to signify that he did not do physical labor. That was very common in the Chinese up until the late 1800s, early 1900s. The wealthier Chinese would not only grow humongous long fingernails, but they would wear sleeves. They would wear coats that were right from the shoulders all the way down to the ground, and they would have sleeves that covered their hands and covered their fingernails. They couldn't even reach out and touch anything. And that was to signify to anybody who saw them, this person did no work with their hands whatsoever. They were not capable of doing it because of the clothes they wore, and other people looked after and waited on them. That's what we believe Joseph had. And instead of many colors, I believe it was actually many vertical stripes, which would have been a lot easier to arrange with the weaving system that they had then. Could have used different colors, could have used black or brown and stripes and white in between, and that would have been many colors. But the word colors, we're not sure that's really translated correctly. Stripes seems more appropriate. Second thing is obeisance. Joseph has his dreams. Obeisance does not mean just to sort of bow to show respect. It means to show submission. And in a society where you show submission, which is just totally foreign to North American or European cultures, what you do is you bow down so low that your head might touch the ground, or you kneel in front of the person and you put your arms down and you bow your head down so low that you actually bump it on the ground. The Chinese word means touch head for submission, for obeisance. And the idea that Joseph had dreams that everybody in his family was going to do that to him was so grossly offensive to them that they hated his guts. And then his father says, well, go and look after your brothers, go and find out where they are, see that everything's okay. So Joseph takes off. He's wearing his coat to show he is the heir. That's what it does. It shows he is the guy in charge after Dad. So if Dad's not there, he's the guy that makes the decisions. He's 17 years old. He's an adult as far as his father is concerned. Legally, as far as the culture is concerned, he's an adult. And his brothers hate him for it because they're all older than him. They all figure they have a better claim to being leader than him. He shows up. They drop him in a pit. They sell him for 20 pieces of silver. Usual price for an adult slave was 30 pieces of silver. He was a little young as far as they were concerned for it. They sell him. He goes to Egypt. He's bought by Potiphar. And the very thing that they sought to destroy, his brother sought to destroy him, actually in the long run turns out to save him. There's a lot of similitudes, things between Joseph and Jesus. And we'll get into those as we go through the next 12 or 13 chapters. Before we finish here, we need to deal with Potiphar. Potiphar buys Joseph as a slave for his own house. And most people have no idea who Potiphar was. It's his captain of the guard or something like that. If you were to read the translation of his title in the original Egyptian, what it means is captain of the butchers or the slaughterers. And some authorities are unimaginative enough to think that that means that he worked in the kitchen. But what it means is he was the captain of the group, the select group of the royal executioners. As such, he probably would have been the only man who would have been entitled to carry a sword in the presence of Pharaoh to defend the Pharaoh. Powerful man.